Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg testified before charge of questions related to controversies surrounding his social media company. In his opening statement, Zuckerberg apologized for his past mistakes. He said that Facebook is well on the way to tackling problems on the social network. An army of 100 life-seized cutouts of Mark Zuckerberg took over the U.S. Capitol lawn ahead of the Facebook founder's Senate appearance. Cardboard cutouts of Zuckerberg that read, "Fix Facebook." The stunt is the work of global activist group Avaz, which wants Zuckerberg, internet CEOs and government regulators to fight disinformation campaigns across Facebook and other social platforms. The White House has indicated that President Donald Trump certainly believes that he was the power to fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller. The comment comes soon after Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen's offices were raided in New York. Reports said that Mueller, who's investigating Russia election meddling claim, provided a referral for the agents to conduct the search. The Emir of Qatar has told U.S. President Donald Trump that his nation stands with the U.S. in opposing the government of Syrian President Bashar Assad. Trump met with his senior military leadership on Monday to consider American response to a chemical attack in an area east of Damascus where the remnants of anti-government forces are situated. Dozens of buses arrived in rebel-held northwestern Syria carrying insurgents who had agreed to surrender the town they controlled near Damascus after it was hit in a suspected chemical attack. Their evacuation along with their families came as the United Nations Security Council prepared to meet to discuss the attack on Douma. Reports say more than 40,000 insurgents and their family members are expected to leave. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that Russia would submit a resolution to the United Nations Security Council proposing that international inspectors visit the site of a suspected chemical weapons attack in Douma. Speaking with media in Moscow, Lavrov said that we cannot blindly believe that the results that are produced by investigations at a distance. A video published on a social media website purported to show that the remains of a missile used in a suspected chemical attack in the Syrian town of Douma. The video, said to be filmed on Monday, shows a man wearing a mask in a severely damaged room covered in dust and debris. The remains of what was said to be the missile was seen on the ground amid damaged furniture and rubble. At least 60 people were killed and more than 1,000 injured at several sites in the alleged attack on Douma. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was greeted by French President Emmanuel Macron as he arrived at the Élysée Palace. The prince is not due to sign mega contracts in France as he did in the United States and Britain in the past month. A French presidency statement said that the two leaders would work on a strategic document that would lead to contracts by the year's end, when Macron travels to Saudi Arabia. A photograph published on Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri's official Twitter account showed the leader in Paris posing with Moroccan King Mohammed V and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The selfie, which was shared by thousands of Twitter users, was accompanied by a caption that read in Arabic, "No comment." European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker joined a meeting of the German cabinet as Chancellor Angela Merkel sought to forge some team spirit among ministers already squabbling after just a month in office. Juncker arrived moments after NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg's left Schloss-Merck, a castle north of Berlin, where Merkel and her cabinet began a two-day meeting. Yulia Skripal, the poisoned daughter of Russian ex-spy Sergei, has been discharged from hospital. The 33-year-old was taken to a secure location from Salisbury District Hospital. In the statement, the hospital said that this is not the end of her treatment but marks a significant milestone. Her father, Sergei Skripal, continues to remain in hospital. Doctors hope that he'll be discharged in due course. The Israeli military has said that it was investigating a video that appears to show an Israeli army sniper shooting a motionless Palestinian across the border in Gaza. After being circulated widely on social media platforms, Israeli television channels broadcasted the clip with one host describing it as disturbing. More than 30 people have been killed in 7 days of protest at the Gaza-Israel border. Now, leaders of Colombia's former FARC rebel group, now a political party, accused the U.S. of trapping a soon-to-be congressman from the Marxist Party on charges of drug trafficking and added that it was an attack on the peace process. Colombia on Monday arrested Suez Hernandez, who was due to take office in July, accusing him of conspiring to export 10 tons of cocaine worth $320 million in street value to the United States. The United Nations has said that the armed groups in Libya are killing and torturing detainees in prisons which would have been under government control. UN report has said that thousands of civilians are being unlawfully held in these prisons. It also said that many detainees have been held without charge or trial since the 2011 revolution that overthrew former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for elevation of ties between China and the Philippines. He was meeting his Philippine counterpart Rodrigo Duterte at the WION Forum for Asia Annual Conference. Xi said that the leaders of both countries should maintain close communication and strengthen strategic steering and top-level design for the bilateral relations. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has brushed aside criticism of Sunday's parliamentary vote issued by an international election monitoring group. Orban told the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe thanks for the contribution at a news conference after the group said that the election did not offer opposition parties a level playing field. Now, French students marched in Paris in protest of the government's plan for university reforms, another measure by President Emmanuel Macron in his bid to modernize some of France's old institutions. Students blocked entrances to several universities across France, challenging a planned new selection system in higher education. Now, in the latest departure from the White House, U.S. President Donald Trump's Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert has resigned. A veteran of the George W. Bush administration, Bossert had served Trump since he took office in 2017. His portfolio included responses to natural disasters like hurricanes as well as cybersecurity. He became the subject of unwelcome attention in August 2017 when he responded to a British email prankster pretending to be Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor. Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has praised the German government and said Spain would respect the final decision made in German court that agreed to release former Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont on bail. The court's April 5 ruling also said that the extradition to Spain was possible on a charge of misuse of public funds, but not the charge of rebellion for his role in the campaign for Catalonia's independence. Migrants laid down their mattresses in the lobby of the French train station at Briancon, saying it was the only place that could offer them a safe place to sleep. Station occupied signs were seen hanging outside the building that lies close to the Italian border and the Val di Susa snow-covered mountain range, which many migrants have been crossing. About 100 people, including young children and supported by a French NGO, slept in the station. A U.S. aircraft carrier strike group sailed through the South China Sea, led by aircraft carrier U.S. Theodore Roosevelt. The warships patrolled the disputed region during what officers call a routine deployment to the Philippines this week. The Roosevelt previously met the Singaporean counterparts and jointly sailed through the South China Sea on April 6th. New York police officials have launched an investigation after the discovery of a woman's body without limbs. Officials say that the woman's naked, dismembered body was spotted by a passerby under bushes in the park. Investigators were working on the woman's identity and the time frame of when the body was left there. Now, Bill Cosby's defense lawyer told a jury that accuser Andrea was a con artist out to extort money from the famed comedian. They say she concocted a false story of sexual assault to pay for her education and set up a business. Bill Cosby, once known as the wise and witty father in the 1980s television hit The Cosby Show, is facing his second trial in Norristown, Pennsylvania, on charges of drugging and sexually assaulting. And in 2004, last year, his first trial ended with the jury unable to reach a verdict. Some 50 women have accused Cosby of assault, many of them alleging that he drugged them. The leaders who brokered a peace deal for Northern Ireland in 1998 marked its 20th anniversary. They posed for a family picture outside Queen's University in Northern Ireland. Former US President Bill Clinton and ex-British Prime Minister Tony Blair joined Irish and Northern Irish politicians in Belfast to mark the breakthrough on April 10, 1998 that called an end to 30 years of sectarian violence in which around 3,600 people died. Indian contemporary artist Subodh Gupta gave journalists a sneak peek of a retrospective of his bold stainless steel works at the prestigious Monet de Paris. A first in France, the retrospective is a journey to Gupta's India, where he takes inspiration from everyday life and objects from cooking utensils and lunchboxes to bicycles and luggage trolleys. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with scientists in Russia's institute, which is the country's leading nuclear science center. Speaking at the meeting, Putin said that Russian science, and especially nuclear one, must develop rapidly. Kurchatov Institute was founded in 1943 and later named after Igor Kurchatov, the leader of the Soviet atomic bomb project. The initial purpose of the institution was development of nuclear weapons. The majority of Soviet nuclear reactors were designed in Kurchatov Institute. The world's first long-distance electric bus line was inaugurated in Paris. German low-cost company Flixbus presented its green bus at the foot of the Eiffel Tower and will begin daily service on April 12th. The service will link the French capital to the northern city of Amiens, a 160-kilometer journey which will take a little over 2 hours. The bus, which seats 49, has all the advantages of an electric vehicle: zero emissions, quiet, and drives more smoothly than its fuel-powered counterpart. The EU top court ruled that France is entitled to bring criminal proceedings against local managers of ride-hailing app Uber for running an illegal taxi service. The case concerned Uber's use of unlicensed drivers as part of its Uber Pop service in France, which has since been suspended. They're in several other cities, and therefore will not affect Uber's operations in the country. An Indian nurse has committed suicide by jumping off a hospital's rooftop in Al-Ain city of the United Arab Emirates. The woman, identified as Suja Singh, was in her early 40s and was from Kerala. She jumped from the hospital's building on Sunday afternoon. Suja Singh is survived by 2 children who study abroad. The reason for the suicide was not confirmed. Thousands of activists hit the street near Chennai's Chidambaram or Chepauk Stadium to call for a boycott of the IPL cricket match between Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders. Political parties and fringe groups have demanded the cancellation of all 7 IPL matches to be held in Chennai till the centre forms the Kaveri Water Management Board. The match, however, started duly on time amid heavy police presence in and around the packed stadium. Through the day, nearly 4,000 police personnel have kept vigil in the area. Now let's take you through some stories from the world of sport. We start with shooting at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, where Hina Sidhu has bagged India's 3rd gold medal with a come-from-behind win in the women's 25-meter pistol event. Sidhu overcame a bit of a slow start with consecutive hits of 5 each in the 5th and 6th series, and she rode on that momentum to beat Australia's Elena Galibovic 38-35 and also set a new games record in the process. Over in hockey, the women's team booked their place in the semi-final after a narrow 1-0 win over South Africa in their 4th and final pool. Captain Rani Rampal scored the only goal of the match in the 47th minute, providing a world-class finish to an excellent team move. India finished 2nd in the pool behind England on goal difference and will now face 3-time defending champions Australia in the last 4. The men's hockey team too have sealed a semi-final berth after overcoming Malaysia with a 2-1 win. Harmanpreet Singh scored both the goals from penalty corners to secure progress into the last 4. India can still finish on top of Pool B as they face table toppers England later today. Boxing now, and India are assured of at least 5 more medals after the men's boxing contingent booked their semi-final berth in 5 different weight categories ranging from the 49 kg to the 91 plus kg categories. Amit Pangal, Husamuddin Mohammad, Manoj Kumar, Naman Tanwar and Satish Kumar all sailed through to the last 8. Over in athletics, India's Mohammad Anas narrowly missed out on a podium finish in the men's 400-meter final. In a race that also featured Botswana's Isak Makwala, Anas finished 4th, clocking 45.31 seconds, which is a new national record. He was the first Indian to qualify for a track final in an individual category at the Commonwealth Games since the legendary Milkha Singh won the title at the 1958 Games.